And so I'm like, okay, this is do or die time. So I jumped the fence. Because I'm like, I got to jump.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise. Hello, everyone. This is James Harper coming to you live here at the secret headquarters in Hendersonville, Tennessee. This is the Real Estate Halftime Show, and coming to you today, we have a very special guest. This could get wild and crazy.
Woo!
It's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned and get ready to have some fun listening to the Real Estate Halftime Show.
It's time for the Real Estate Halftime Show. Sit back, relax, and listen to Nashville's premier inside scoop to real estate with the Mortgage Extraordinaire himself, James Harper.
All right, welcome back to the studio here. We are ready to go with our very special guest, Katie Garrison from Barlow Realty. And she is live in the studio with us. And man, we got a lot to talk about. And so thanks for coming all this way. I mean, you almost probably felt like you drove to Kentucky.
It really did almost feel like that. It was about an hour drive, but I'm so thankful to be here with you. And this is going to be a good time.
Yes, and we're having a little sip of water. So
he
cheers.
Thinks.
Thanks for
he
coming.
thinks it's water.
Mm-hmm. And so we want to dive right in. We want to hear a little bit about Katie. We want to understand a little bit about Katie, but really how Katie has evolved into the real estate business. And we want to really get into the uniqueness of you.
Okay.
So be prepared, because you never know what you might hear from Miss Katie here.
I have no filter.
So when did you get into the business? Tell us a quick background, because I think even me in the mortgage business, I'm an engineer by degree. I said it many times on the show. I hated what I did. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do something completely different, that I wasn't controlled by four walls or my ability to make money, even though I was making good money in engineering. Mm-hmm. So I don't think anybody grows up and says, hey, I want to be a real estate agent, or hey, I want to be a loan officer. So what made you transition into this business? What happened in your past chapter of life that made you jump in to the real estate business? What a hell of a question.
That is a loaded question right there.
Yeah.
Well, let me see here.
This is your Oprah moment.
This is my Oprah moment. I love this. You get a car. You get a car.
Yes.
Just kidding. You get a house. So growing up, my dad, he was in car sales. So I watched the sales business, and I watched how he evolved from when I was probably 7 years old on. That's when he started car sales. And I watched him become so successful in that. And I saw the success that he had. And, it's something that I always wanted to strive for. And so I ended up going into car sales myself.
Oh.
I sold Dodge Rams for 2 years. I'll tell you what, we had so much fun.
Wow.
Them Hemi engines. But, I love the high of the sell. I love people most of all, and I like to see the people happy, and anything that I can do to get somebody to smile was something that I craved and something I needed more of. And so doing the car sales for 2 years.
And that was in what years?
Oh, let's see here, 05, 06.
Okay, all right.
Beginning of 07.
Good.
So I did that, and then I wanted more, The hours were kind of long in the car business.
Sucked.
It's super hard. Sucks terribly. Sorry, guys. We appreciate y'all out there, but them hours, they were tough.
Hard to have a social life or a married life or any kind of life.
Any kind of life whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, you're.
So anyways, I went and got my real estate license, and I took off running in 07.
And who told you, hey, you ought to try this? Or is it just friends or?
It just kind of came natural. I think being around people and just the way I am with people, it was kind of a natural given that I needed to work with people. Mm-hmm. I needed to work, in general like that.
Yeah. So you just took a leap of faith.
I did.
Said, all right, I'm going to go get my real estate license. I don't know how I'm going to market myself. I don't know how I'm going to navigate through this business, but I'm going to figure it out.
Exactly.
And when you started in the business, what do you think the scariest thing was when you got going?
I'll tell you what. So, we had schooling for about 2 weeks, and then they pretty much, you had to go take your test in front of the state board. And once you do that, it's kind of like open doors. Like, here you go, you're free. But it's like, I don't know where to begin. Like, I didn't know where to start. It was also scary because it's like, there's no outline of, hey, you need to go do this. This is how you need to market yourself. The internet really wasn't huge back then.
No,
so it was all pretty much word of mouth. And, that got pretty frustrating because you weren't getting ahead. You felt like you were just kind of stuck in mud. And
So you got in, I see here in my notes, in 2007.
I did. That was
That was exactly the same time I got in the mortgage business.
Right.
And man, things were happening crazy.
It was a scary, scary time. And that was probably
People thought I was nuts. They're like,
Yeah.
you're getting in the mortgage business, everybody's jumping out.
Yes.
I don't know how it was on the real estate side.
Same thing. It was so scary. It's like, all the realtors that I was meeting, I'd call them to get advice and they were out of the business already. And it's like, okay, well, let me call this person. And then they were like, well, best of luck, but I'm going to go do this now. So it's like I'm seeing all my mentors leaving the business also. And I'm like, well, it must be terrible.
Well, either that or we just didn't know any better.
We didn't know any better. Yeah.
So I tell this story, and I'll say it again because I know you probably have one. When I first did I think it was my first or second transaction, and I'm trying to figure out how to do an investment loan. This loan was $45,000 loan amount. Okay. This lady was totally knew I was green, and I needed help with it. So I asked a coworker or another loan officer to help me kind of navigate through this transaction. And I get my paycheck and I made $43.
Oh, ouch.
And I said, this isn't going to work for very long. And so my worst experience was really like I think it was my first transaction, and I made $43. How about yourself? Do you have anything like that?
Well, mine's pretty much the opposite.
Oh.
I got a big lick on my first one. My first house.
That put the golden
And
handcuffs.
that put it on me. So my first home sale was $847,000. And I'll never forget.
A lot back then.
It was a lot back then.
Lot
That was a
today.
big old house back then. And I remember getting that paycheck and I'm like, I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to the top. This is it. This is my job forever. Like, you get a taste of it.
So do you think that really what kicked you into full
yeah.
gear, and you're like, man, I know how to do this now?
Yeah.
Wow.
My confidence just soared after that. And here we are.
So you fast forward. I mean, the ebb and flow of real estate,
Yep.
just like the mortgage business. Well, what do you think your high was, and what do you think your low was, or do you even know that right now?
Gosh, I couldn't even tell you. Let's see. The low was probably whenever we went through that little depression that we went through in 08, 09. That scared me half to death. So it was kind of like, what am I going to do? I need to have some type of stability. And that's one of the hard things that, these real estate agents, they go to school. They're like, it looks like such easy money. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's really, truly not.
It's not.
It is blood, sweat, and tears. You are open for business 24 hours of the day. I'll get phone calls 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, questions because someone's nervous or they're scared about this. And,
Well, let's roll into that next question that is right at the tip of my tongue. So what makes you unique? What is your coolness factor?
I'm just cool.
Well,
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I get that.
Cool like a cucumber here.
Yep. So, but what makes you unique? If you were in a room with 4 or 5 other realtors that were all trying to bid for the same listing, and it's $1 million listing, what's your uniqueness? What makes you different? I mean, obviously you got a great personality. You really seem to in the times I've interacted with you, you really seem to really care about what's going on with not only the property but the client themselves.
Yeah.
But what does separate you apart? Because that's a hard question to ask somebody to tell about themselves.
I know. It's like,
it's like, how do I brag but not
how
brag?
do I brag but not sound like,
But no, this is all about how to separate yourself out from the bunch. So what is that? Maybe you say, James, hell with that. Let me go home and think about it. I'll call you tomorrow.
I don't even think about that. I already know.
All right. That's good. Good answer.
Me against any other agent, I just think like you nailed it on the head. The way I care about people, the way I put them first, their needs are number one in this business. I truly love to get to know my clients, their kiddos. I like to make them all feel safe and comfortable. They become part of my family at that point. But yeah, I think my niche is the way that I have fun with my clients. Let them know that this is not, it doesn't have to be so stressful and so uptight of a thing. We're working with millions of dollars here. This should be less stressful than it should be. So we need to have fun while we do it.
So there's been some recent changes in the industry. Do you think that's, and the recent changes are how buyer agents or buyer representation is paid? And we don't want to really get into all that that detail right now because it may confuse
Right.
listeners out there. But the gist of it is that there has to be more transparency to buyers agents. So if you're a buyer out there listening and you want to go buy a house and you get approached by a real estate agent, things are going to be a little different today than yesterday, or yesterday meaning August 17th. I think it was the day, right?
Right.
When supposed doomsday occurred to some real estate agents. But what do you think changes with how you have to get these buyer agreements in place for sure now versus the way it was maybe done before?
And, I really don't think this should be a time of, to be scared, to my other agents. I think this is a time that we're learning, we're evolving as sales people, because that's really what we're doing. We're selling ourselves, we're selling the homes. And I think, not to get really too deep into it, I think the media has really taken this and ran with them, blown it way out of proportion. You are essentially selling yourself. And you've done that from day one. So continue to sell yourself. Let them know why you as a buyer's agent need to represent them and what
Well, I think my personal opinion is I think real estate agents that don't know how to sell themselves
are going to weed out.
1,000%.
We have.
When you don't know how to hunt, we were talking about this before the show. If you don't know how to hunt, I guess I'll kind of tell on somebody indirectly. I had an agent text me and said, "Hey, how is Fairway, which is the company I work for, obviously, how is Fairway going to help pay the buyer's agent commission?" And I'm like, WTF, what? I mean, some agents literally think that, mortgage companies are just full of money. And I instantly went to, well, this agent doesn't know how to sell herself.
Amen.
Because why would she be asking for somebody else to cover what she can't sell?
Exactly.
And that is herself.
Exactly. That's all it boils down to is buyer's agents. Sell yourself.
Yeah. Anyways, that struck a real chord because I was like, this is interesting because I think that's what's really happening with the dynamic of that situation. It's just, how do I make it easier for me if I'm a real estate agent? How do I make it easier for me so that I don't have to be confrontational or transparent about what I really need to try to sell to to this person to make them sign this document before I ever start showing them houses. But really, it's never changed, right?
It's really, truly never changed. And I know that document probably looks scary to our buyers out there, but you know what? You got to make them feel comfortable with it. You're representing them. So if they're not comfortable with you, they're not going to sign this form for you to go show them houses and essentially possibly cover that 3% commission. If they don't feel comfortable with you, they're not going to give you 3% of their hard-earned money.
So what kind of, what's your market? What do you...
Ooh, here we go.
Yeah, what do you what's your highest and best marketability of yourself, and what type of, some people say, oh, I'd love to work with first-time home buyers. I'd love to work luxury homes. What is your space that you like to be in?
I love it all.
Whoa.
Hey, give me that $5.5 million listing or give me that 300. I do not care. Let's go have fun. Let's sell. As long as you are making money and I'm making money with you, we are going to make a great team.
That's awesome.
I'm not scared of anything.
And what limitations do you have?
Yeah.
And no, I'm not driving to Memphis or,
Well, I work anywhere in the Middle Tennessee area. I have driven over 2.5 hours to do one showing, to drive on back, just because I want you to have that comfortability with me. I want you to have that rapport with me, and I want you to know that I'm always here. I don't care how far away it is. As long as it's technically in Tennessee, we can go see it.
Or Chapmansboro.
Hey,
I said it.
You did. I am so proud of you.
So to the listeners out there, we have a very exclusive... and this is like one segue into another, but we have a very exclusive video coming out. So stay tuned with myself and Katie, where we're actually doing a walkthrough at a listing that you have. We don't know what the price is yet, do we?
Yeah, it's 2.5.
Oh, 2.5. We do know the price.
2.5 mil.
And we never said that in the video.
We did not.
But this video is fantastic. is probably the best one that I've ever done with a real estate agent. It was so much fun. There's going to be lots of bloopers, lots of fun things. We just saw it for the first time.
Oh my gosh. It was so funny. Just to give you a little heads up, I might have beat him in pickleball. So
Ooh.
just stay tuned for that.
And she also made a layup.
I did.
And I busted my butt going down a slide.
And I was also a mermaid.
Yes. You know what? Screw it. Let's just watch it right now. Let's let the viewers see what kind of fun we had out there.
Oh, they are in for it. Grab your popcorn, guys. This is a great one.
Yep. Roll the tape.
Welcome to the wild side, guys. Why build a bear when you can have a bear in your front yard?
I don't blame you. I mean, this bear is, just look at him.
You are barely going to believe this deal that we have here.
Well, we're on the front porch here at 1001 Cumberland Drive here.
In Chapmansboro, Tennessee.
Yes.
It's only a short drive to Nashville, Tennessee. You're about 30 minutes from downtown.
How peaceful it is just to sit on this front porch and just look all around you at the beautiful landscape and scenery. And man, it's just breathtaking.
Come on in, take a look. Check it all out today.
What kind of home has its own hibachi right here in the center of the kitchen area, reaching out to this beautiful big screen TV? But I have a client that's ready to eat today, and we have our own custom menu. Katie, what are you gonna have?
I think I'll just have a Lunchable. Oh, thank you.
That's a tall hat. So before you hop on the boat and go out into the channel for a beautiful little lake ride, just get your pickleball in. Katie, are you ready?
I'm born ready.
Here we go. Oh, she got me.
Yes! I even did this in heels, guys. Well, you guys, welcome home. Not only do you get this beautiful home over here, you get this junior size home, good for any age.
Yeah, even for big kids like us.
I'm telling you what.
You can absolutely do whatever you want to do up here. I'm not sure the swing can hold us, but this slide sure can. Let's give it a try. All right. And we did it. We did it.
Land ho! What is that? Is that a mermaid? Don't be a fish out of water and come check out this beautiful home today at 1001 Cumberland Drive here in Chapmansboro, Tennessee.
Yes, this bull, Ferdinand, we've been looking at him all day and he is ready for a ride. Come out and check it out. This beautiful property, once again, has all the amenities, including our good old friend Ferdinand.
Yeehaw! Like there ain't no horsing around when you come out here to play with us.
And she made it.
Mad skill.
So Katie, we've taken a pretty good tour of this home and man, we've had some fun on the outside, but why don't we just kind of recap some of the amenities that we have with this house, that's included with this house for a very, very, very reasonable price.
Absolutely. So we're at 4 bedrooms with an optional 5th. There's 4 bathrooms also. It's 4,100 square feet. This home also comes with a jet ski and a jet ski pontoon boat.
And as we've already shown, a pickleball court, a swimming pool.
So if you want to hear more about this property, don't hesitate to reach out. Katie Garrison with Barlow Realty.
James Harper with Fairway Independent Mortgage, and we're here to help get you into this home because it's ready to sell.
Welcome home.
Wow, I tell you, that was so much fun. I have to tell you, I've never done anything quite that unique. You talk about a uniqueness factor. I think we did it right there. That was totally cool. That was a lot of fun. That will probably be in the James Harper memory book forever.
I love it.
And so maybe many more of those to come. But I hope all the listeners and viewers that are seeing this on social media really enjoyed that. Yeah. And man, check that property out because it's definitely got its uniqueness factor to it.
Definitely has a uniqueness. That bear gets me every time.
And you're right on the river there.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on. And what do you see Katie doing with real estate? I mean, what do you see yourself doing in the next 3 to 5 years?
Ooh, this is a loaded question too. I love it.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting my broker's license about 2 years ago.
Nice.
So my main goal,
Congratulations.
thank you. Education is key. My main goal is to probably open up my own brokerage. That is my goal.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And so what does that mean? Does that mean that you'll have obviously a team under yourself, but also a team in general? What's that? And have you thought of any cool names
Oh,
yet?
you already know I have, but I can't let the cat out of the bag yet. But yeah, I'd have my own facility, my own place, have a team under me, and we would just rock it.
And what would make that brokerage different?
Oh, we would have so much fun.
Yes. Okay, so you said this a couple times.
Yeah.
You said fun. And I love your infectious personality and your smile and everything that goes along with it. And I think that does carry over to your clients where they see that.
Right.
They see that energy that you have. And believe it or not, that goes a long way because buying a house is stressful, isn't it?
Super stressful. You know what? Energy sells. You keep that energy up. You keep in front of people, and you keep that listing out in front of people, and it's just gonna,
If you haven't seen how Katie does some of her work and does some of her social media and does some of her connections and engagement, you need to reach out to you. How?
So you can go to Katie Sells Tennessee on Instagram. You can see all the funny videos that we make. We're not only just funny, but, we're hardcore negotiators. We're hardcore when we need to be.
Of course.
But for the most part, it's fun. Real estate's supposed to be fun.
So let's talk about some of what has been fun. What has been your craziest?
Oh, man.
Your craziest real estate story or transaction. I had one guest come on here and said, man, I opened the door and the dogs went running down the street and I had to go chase them. I'm in my dress shoes and then obviously there's some other crazy ones, but I don't want to. I want to hear for the first time because you haven't told me anything.
I haven't told you any of these.
And
I'll tell you what, we have some good stories, but I have two of them that I'm going to tell you. So the first one, I always like to say real estate's, we're professional breaker-inners. So if we can't get in the front door, like these lock boxes, sometimes, they got a mind of their own. So you got to figure out a way to get in there, especially if you just drove an hour to see this property. So there was one time I couldn't get in the front door. This lock box was, I don't know what was going on with it, but I had to jump.
Now you're pissed.
Oh, I was pissed off. I'm sweating. Like I literally have sweat dripping
always
down
when
my...
it's like 100 out.
It's 100 degrees. And I got my heels on and I'm like, okay, I got to get into this house. These clients really want to see it. Like they're ready to pull the trigger. And so I'm like, okay, this is do or die time. So I jumped the fence. Because I'm like, I got to jump.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise. What kind of fence? Okay, what kind of fence? We got to visualize the fence.
Yes, okay.
Is it like a picket fence?
Oh, no, it's a privacy fence.
Okay, it's a privacy fence.
And it's a wooden privacy fence. And so
like 8 foot, 6 foot?
Oh, it was probably 6 foot. But still, to me, that's pretty tall.
Yeah.
So, there's nowhere to step on the outside. There's nowhere to put your foot. So anyways, it's like, I'm hoisting myself up there and I'm like, thank God I go to Chase Burnett Body or else I wouldn't have been able to do that pull up onto the fence. But anyway, shout out to you.
Shameless plug.
I love it. So anyways, jump the fence, I get over it and then I fall to the other side. And when I did that, I ripped my pants. Ripped my pants.
Like where?
Like the seam on the inside of the thigh.
Oh.
It was pretty embarrassing.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah. That was one.
So how did you get in the house?
So I ended up, the back door was unlocked.
Oh.
Go figure. If only the fence was unlocked, that would have been even better.
And the fence was not unlocked.
It was not. So anyways, I walked around the rest of the showing with a big hole in my thigh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That was a good one.
Okay, that was a good one.
It was definitely entertaining. The buyers,
I'm sure that can be edited to really put some good B-roll in there, right, Zach?
Like a ripping sound.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, I ripped my pants.
Yes, that's good.
I ripped my pants.
But anyways, the buyers, they had so much fun with it. They ended up buying the house.
If this lady is going to jump over a fence,
she went above and beyond.
We're going to buy it.
But it was super funny because I usually buy them closing gifts and they ended up getting me a closing gift of like a needle and thread packet to go ahead and sew my pants back up. So it was pretty funny. It was comical. And
All right, what's
everlasting
number
memory.
2?
Oh, number 2. Okay, now this one's great.
Okay.
So I had this older couple. They were in from out of state, California buyers. And so we're walking through this house, a beautiful house. We get up to the bonus room, and all of a sudden, there's a sex swing.
Oh.
I know, hanging in the bonus room.
Haven't we had this one before? Haven't we had a sex swing? I mean, this must be a
bad.
common thing.
It must be. So anyway, she was about to go sit on this swing. And I'm like, no, don't sit on that. I'm like, I'm trying to beat around the bush, no pun intended or anything. But I'm like, don't sit on that. That's a yoga swing. I don't know if it's firmly secured, but I'm like, oh my God, she was about to sit on that. That was about to be a visual.
And this is like hanging from the center of the room.
It is. It's hanging.
I don't know where sex swings normally hang.
It's
but
literally bolted to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed. It was a nice setup, but if you're selling your house, please put up your sex swings, okay? Thank you very much.
Didn't even try to put it away.
Didn't even try to put it. I mean, it's out in the open. I played it off really well. I'm like, yep, it's a yoga swing, which it, very well could have been, but I don't think so.
So it obviously wasn't your listing. So
It obviously was not.
And so the listing agent hadn't done a walkthrough evidently either, right?
Or that, she could have done the walkthrough and then they ended up putting it up afterwards. I don't know if they take it down to wash it. I don't know really how that works.
Maybe you caught them off guard.
Maybe.
And they didn't have a chance to take it down. And a quick listing, we'll just go with that. Yeah.
So, shout out to anybody that's selling their house. Make sure you put up all personal items. This being one of them.
All right. Do you have another one?
Oh, no, that's it.
Number 3. You have to have a number 3.
I don't have number 3. I'll keep those other ones. Whew.
So we all get going 100 miles an hour. And it seems like this business is crazy. You get going different directions. You get phone calls coming in. You get clients that need things. We have agents that need things. We have lenders that need things. And you get all this craziness going. Have you ever just felt like you just lost your mind?
Oh, daily.
All right, so I'm going to tell a story on me. So, and I'll see if you have a similar one. So last week, this just happened last week. So I go in, I said, I'm just going to pick up my computer and I'm going to go back to the house. So I have a laptop here at the office and I pick up, I come in my office to get my laptop and then I'm going to turn around and leave again.
Yeah.
Immediately walk in, sit down. Next thing you know, phone rings, check something on the computer. Then I get on there and I see a squirrel on the computer and now I'm navigating around on the computer. Hour and a half later, I said, okay, I got to get out of here.
Yeah. I
leave here, walk out in the parking lot, and my car's running. So my car's been running for an hour and a half, which I'm supposed to be going in and getting my computer. And because I got distracted, because I saw a squirrel, because, the craziness of what happens in our day sometimes, an hour and a half later, and I barely have enough gas to get to the gas station. And if it would have been any longer, I would have come out and tried to start my car and realized, why is my car not starting? Because I would have been out of gas. Mm-hmm. But the crazier thing was I walked out and I said, who in the hell started my car? I'd already forgot that I'd left it running.
Right.
So that's my story.
I love that.
Do you have anything like that where maybe you one day I came to the office, I had 2 different black shoes on.
I remember that.
2 different black dress shoes. And I looked down, I'm like, well.
You posted that picture.
Yeah. Not going to.
Well, that's kind of funny you say that because I actually did the same exact thing last night.
I could see some of this kind of stuff happening to you.
Oh, for sure. Last night, it's so funny. My neighbor actually texted me this morning. He said, hey, did you know your car door's open? And I'm like, oh, gosh. So my car door literally had been open probably from 7 o'clock last night until this morning when I woke up. And I'm like, you know what? We're here. If that's the worst that's happened today, we're good.
That's funny. We are going to close out the segment here. What do you want the audience to know more about you? What do you feel like you want to share in order to stay top of mind or to be engaged with somebody or to have them give you a call? Why should they check Katie Garrison out? To buy or sell their next home. Yeah, to buy or sell. We're here for you. We're aggressive. We're going to go out there and we're going to fight for you. We're going to fight for your family. This is your hard-earned money. I think money nowadays, it's hard to come by, and it's something that a lot of us are struggling with. And we're here to help you and help you to make the best and the most top dollar you can get. Well, Katie does a fantastic business. You definitely should check her out. And how did they get a hold of you again? Katie Sells Tennessee. Katie Instagram. Sells Tennessee. on Instagram, and she will definitely reach out to you. She's very communicative. You should give her a try. You should let her come and list your house. As you can see from the video that we just showed you, we'll have some fun with it. I can't imagine it not selling pretty fast after those star-studded experiences.
I'm telling you what, that's an Academy Award right there.
Yes.
Watch out.
And I mean, why not? Why not have the Harper team and the Garrison team show up at your house and do a video and have some fun with it?
I mean, it'd be epic.
Well, so much fun. You're definitely going to have to come back.
Oh, for sure. And thank you for everything that you do. You are the best. I mean, you're amazing. Thank you for taking care of all my clients and taking care of me. You're just phenomenal.
Well, thanks for coming in and driving all the way to Kentucky or Hendersonville. And we'll see you in the studio again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you.
See you.